Hello, I am Eliza.
Hi, Eliza.
How are you today? What would you like to discuss?
I have a problem with my grandma.
Can you elaborate on that?
She disapproves of my lifestyle, and I don't know how to talk to her about it.
Does that trouble you?
Yes, that's why I'm here.
Did you come to me because you are here?
So this was Eliza,
Well, Eliza is actually not a person.
probably one of the most famous chatbots.
Eliza is a system that was programmed by Joseph Weizenbaum.
You will very quickly find that it actually does not have any ability to hold an intelligent dialogue.
I came to you because of my grandma.
Oh, because of your grandma.
AI and us.
AI and us.
Und wir.
KI und wir.
What artificial intelligence
Means for our lives.
Was künstliche Intelligenz
means for our lives.
Was künstliche Intelligenz für unser Leben bedeutet.
An Alexander von Humboldt Foundation Science
Podcast.
Ein Wissenschaftspodcast
Der Alexander von Humboldt-Stiftung.
Episode 2. Where does AI kick in?
Artificial intelligence originated at the beginning of the 19th century. Humboldtian Martin Butz, professor of computer science, psychology, and cognitive systems at the University of Tübingen, looks back.
Madame Lovelace and Babbage created the first computing machinery, and Madame Lovelace particularly had further-reaching thoughts of what AI could do.
In 1842, the British mathematician Ada Lovelace wrote,
"The analytical engine has no pretensions whatsoever to originate anything. It can do whatever we know how to order it to perform."
One of the first times that it was thought about if AI could be autonomous, if it could go beyond human abilities in terms of thought generally.
It can follow analysis, but it has no power of anticipating any analytical relations or truths.
Ada Lovelace is recognized as the first person to write a computer program, an algorithm, a sequence of commands, of if-then statements. From there, it is just a short step to artificial intelligence, at least in theory.
You can, at least in theory, describe many things in the world in terms of numbers. Then you might think that with computation, you can also implement something like a thinking machine. And if you have a thinking machine, you quickly think, okay, how well is it doing in thinking?
Christian Becker-Asano, one of Germany's AI experts in the International Humboldt Network, professor of artificial intelligence at the Hochschule der Medien in Stuttgart. So people have been thinking about intelligent machines for a long time. However, the term artificial intelligence was only coined more than 100 years after the death of Ada Lovelace.
The term was first introduced in a conference in America, Dartmouth Conference, I think 1956 it was, by some, actually a couple of people with different backgrounds, mathematicians, I think linguists were there, and they just stated back then that within 10 years they will have a system that is as intelligent as a human being, which was something they didn't achieve, as we know.
The nearest they got to it was probably Eliza,
Hello, I am Eliza.
Joseph Weizenbaum's chatbot.
I'll be your therapist today.
Hi, I'm Thomas.
Did you come to me because you are Thomas?
Supposedly it was a program that could take the role of a Rogerian psychotherapist, meaning you could go into psychological or psychiatric therapy with this system.
Milica Gašić, one of the Humboldt Foundation's Sofia Kovalevskaya Award winners, also knows Eliza, of course.
Basically, what it was doing is some kind of reflective answering. You would say something and then it would basically bring you back what you said.
I think you are blocking what you really want to say.
I am what I am, and not everybody is accepting that.
Do you believe it is normal to be what you are and not everybody is accepting that?
One way to do psychotherapy is just asking back. For example, if I type, I have a problem with my grandma, the system could just answer, oh, what's your problem with your grandma? Like, tell me more. Continue.
It is normal to be who I am. I think everybody should accept me the way I am.
Did you come to me because you think everybody should accept you the way you are?
This is a technique that's often used in psychology, so somehow it worked very well from that perspective.
And it did a job in this very special context, which was considered quite good.
From a programming or scientific point of view, it was a very, very simple model.
It was not many lines of code. It was a little bit of data in the background, like pattern matching script.
So people really thought they were talking to a real psychologist, or that this machine could give them real psychological answer.
Then people started even saying we don't need psychotherapists anymore because we have that machine. Joseph Weizenbaum, he said we have to be very careful what we sell as an AI system to people, because if we have this effect with such a simple program already, we have to be careful not to sell something to people that they misuse in a certain way, that they trust too much into this system.
Eliza showed what is possible and where we maybe have to set limits when people interact with AI. But chatbots are not the only applications for AI. Christian Becker-Asano has helped to develop industrial robots, for instance. Relatively simple machines that transport components from A to B during the manufacturing process.
This robot also has artificial intelligence inside because it's a fleet of robots and it needs to be decided which robot is doing which task at what time. And that's also classical AI. So we have it even in the workplace now, very often.
Classic AI is based on rules and symbols. Chess computers or vocabulary trainers are simple examples. Classic AI functions well in predictable environments. Classic AI systems follow a decision tree or pick a solution from a previously determined set. Everything they know about the world was taught to them by humans.
You design the logic from scratch. So you design truth, facts, possibly changes that you imagine. So really the problem of this classical AI approach is the designer.
Martin Butz, a former Alexander von Humboldt Foundation Fyodor Lunin Fellow and researcher at the University of Tübingen. He emphasizes how difficult it is to convey a complete image of our world to an AI.
Classical, symbolic, logic-based kind of AI systems suffer essentially from the symbol grounding problem. That is the problem of really knowing what an actual symbol stands for.
We can tell the AI there are trees. Apples hang on trees. When the apple is ripe, it falls to the ground. You can walk over and pick it up. But what does that mean?
What is a tree, for that matter? Or what is walking?
Even restricted environments can quickly become very complex. Unforeseen things can happen at any time because they are not planned into the simplified world of AI that is reduced to symbols.
The problem that we humans are not smart enough to create an AI from scratch.
This gave rise to the idea of letting AI perceive the world for itself, just like we humans develop an understanding from the input of our senses.
In the end, right? Also, we humans, what do we perceive of our world? Through our sensory channels, we perceive state of the world, state of our own body, our own motivation, and so forth. And the true world behind it is only inferred by these sensory channels. And so modern AI has moved away from this feature design and is trying to feed in the raw data, I would say, hoping for the best.
But these modern forms of AI have not replaced classic AI altogether. It still plays a big role in computer games, for example, just as simple algorithms are still used in programs that are not in the least intelligent. And in many other applications, classic AI and modern methods are combined. And the idea behind Eliza is still relevant too.
Now, where Eliza comes in my work is that I'm actually very interested in applied application of conversational agents.
Milica Gašić studies this at the University of Düsseldorf, where she is a professor at the Institute for Dialogue Systems and Machine Learning.
I would very much like to go back to this topic of using a system for maintaining mental health well-being. I think it's a great application. It's something that's really needed nowadays, and especially if you think about this social distancing and loneliness. But we will use a completely different technology to attack that problem.
Instead of static systems, as in classic AI, Milica Gašić wants to employ a learning system, an AI that is not pre-programmed, but itself learns what it needs to know to perform its function. In the next episode of AI and Us, how do machines learn?
Machine learning can be summarized with just 3 words, and this is like the 3 most important words in machine learning. And that is data, model, and predictions.
This was episode 2 of AI and Us, a science podcast by the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation. The Humboldt experts in this episode were Christian Becker-Asano, Professor for Artificial Intelligence at the Hochschule der Medien in Stuttgart. Martin Butz, former Alexander von Humboldt Foundation Theodor Lunen Fellow, and Professor of Computer Science, Psychology and Cognitive Systems at the University of Tübingen. And Milica Gašić, Sofia Kovalevskaya Award winner and Professor of Dialogue Systems and Machine Learning at University Düsseldorf.
Hello, I'm Eliza.
Hi, my name is Thomas.
Names don't interest me.
You just told me your name.
We were discussing you, not me.
That's why I told you my name?
Oh, your name?
Yes, my name.
I don't care about names. Please go on.